Welcome one and all to Umami Manga. I'm Petter, and this is James.
Yeah, hello. I don't know why I said that.
That's okay. And today we're talking about Volume 10 of Jujutsu Kaisen.
You gotta own it, man. Own it.
Exactly. Make it your own. So anyway, today it's Halloween. Well, it's not Halloween, but in the book it's Halloween. Finally.
Yeah. I mean, I remember we talked in previous discussion. Are we gonna actually get to Halloween and everything? And I don't think we really expected it to be next volume, did we?
I don't know. Probably not. And especially since the pacing and stuff has kind of been different. It feels like it's been different. And like sometimes it's been doing like several weeks time skips, and other times it's been spending several volumes in basically roughly the same day and stuff. So yeah, it's been really hard to predict. But we are here now, and apparently we were only 10 days away by the end of the last book.
Yeah, that kind of shocked me.
We didn't even
10
know it.
days.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, there's some big stuff going down. Anything else you want to say before we get into the character discussions here?
No, let's get into it.
Let's dive right in. So let's start by honoring Kokichi Muta, or Mekamaru, as it were. We had some high hopes for this guy when we talked about him last time.
Yeah.
But he only lasted 3 chapters.
I will say that I was worried about him fighting Mahito. I didn't think he'd be able to beat him.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that he'd eventually run away.
And he could have. He could have run away.
Well, right. I mean, I'm saying, we don't know if he's dead or not. But
I guess not.
I also don't want to say he ran away, because he stood his ground, man. He stood his ground.
Absolutely.
He had a plan. And that's the thing. Like, what Kokichi did, it was beyond my expectations for him. I mean, I really expected him to maybe humor them a little bit and then get out of there. But
right.
he gave Mahito I mean, I don't know how much he scared him. It seemed like he had it all in control.
He said that, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he was just talking big.
He's a little cocky little freak.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah, kudos to Ultimate Mekamaru, and just doing everything for his friends. Really, I mean, It was a gutsy move. It was a gutsy move trying to use the curses the way he did.
For sure.
I'm sure there'll be some sort of punishment from the higher ups if he's still alive.
Right.
But I think it was so sweet to see him thinking about his friends, and not just his friends, like specifically Miwa. I really love that. That was a side I did not expect to see. Well,
same, yeah.
I didn't expect to see it in this volume.
Right, and in general, because I don't know, we hadn't necessarily seen too much with the two of them, just one-on-one kind of.
Well, you're right. Yeah, specifically them. No, yeah. I kind of had a feeling he wanted to be closer friends with everybody.
Right.
Like from the Kyoto. Like, I think we had some indications of that when he was fighting Panda, but I didn't realize it could be so specifically Miwa.
Yeah. Man, so sad. And especially, I mean, because I'm, at least right now, I'm assuming he's dead, sadly. Like, because I feel like Maito and Geto would have made sure of that before going away from there. I feel like.
Yeah, you would think they'd be able to tell if someone was faking or not.
Right. I mean, I guess it's not necessarily the case, but I feel like that's most likely the case. Sadly.
Maybe he had some sort of backup plan where he could fake his death or revive himself with the leftover curse energy.
Hey, I mean, yeah, maybe. I wouldn't say no to something like that, because I was really starting to like this guy.
Back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it was a really cool fight.
It was.
And like to get like a Mekamaru mecha fight, like it was pretty cool. And then not necessarily something I had expected in this series. And how he was able to get rid of Mahito's domain expansion was also really badass.
Yes. Using Miwa's simple domain.
Right.
That was pretty great.
For sure. And by now, assuming he's dead now, it's been 10 days since his death. And it hasn't been addressed in any way so far by any of the other characters, which, I mean, I get it, because there was this 10-day time skip, which brought us directly to Halloween, which is like a big situation, something we've anticipated, and an intense moment, kind of. So I get that they're kind of preoccupied with that, and makes sense that they're not necessarily talking about other things.
Mm-hmm.
Though I definitely want to see his friends address all this at some point. Like, he can't just be forgotten from here on out, right?
Mm.
um,
Yeah, I mean, with the Tokyo group, they were aware, or at least uh, Yuji's group,
right.
and Utahime, they
Yeah.
were aware that he was the traitor.
True.
So maybe they don't know his fate, and they just assume that he ran away with the curses, which would be very
Oh
sad.
man, yeah, yeah.
I guess that's just the risk that he took.
Mm-hmm.
But the Kyoto branch, I mean, maybe they were told that in the end that Kokichi was the mole, but I mean, Miwa had that moment where she was trying to talk to Mekamaru, so
Yeah.
it didn't seem like she knew anything at the time.
No, precisely.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I wouldn't be surprised if Kyoto is looking out for or trying to find him, especially if he's been asleep for 10 days.
Right.
The Mekamaru, you know.
Right. Oh yeah. Precisely. Yeah. So yeah, we just need more on this eventually, like probably after the whole Halloween event is over.
Right. I hope it's not just left for us to imagine. Like, I hope they bring it up and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
he's dead," or "Hey, here he is."
Exactly. Something. Yeah. We need it. I won't accept anything else. We need something.
I mean, good job by Akutami for getting a character that I think we kind of grew to sympathize for by
Yeah.
the end of the panda fight and everything. But I mean, it really just kind of changed again my perspective of a character towards where I really liked him, and it was heartbreaking to see him potentially die here.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it felt so sudden, kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely was heartbreaking. Anything else on Kokichi?
No.
Then moving on to Yuji Itadori. I rather enjoyed seeing him well, really kind of use his brain during his encounter with the grasshopper curse. At least, well, like how the grasshopper obviously wasn't as smart as it claimed to be, but um, I don't know, like how Yuji kind of said that smart people don't usually brag about being smart, and kind of that side, like I don't know, is Yuji growing smarter here, or is it just like in comparison to the grasshopper he's looking smart? I don't know which one it is.
Or is the intensity of the moment and potentially fighting Mahito just kind of
Mm,
making him think a little more clearly, or
right.
I don't know, not be as much of a goofball.
True.
Um,
Honestly, yeah.
it's quite funny because I recently listened to our, I think it was volume 6 or volume 7 discussion where
Mm?
we are talking about how him and Nobata share the same brain cell or whatever,
Right.
and how they're just a bunch of dorks.
Yes.
Um, and maybe and I think Yuji even said, "Hey, there are people who are dumber than me,"
Right,
or
precisely.
something like that. So it is quite funny to see that comparison. But
Really?
I do think he is kind of caught up in the seriousness of the moment as well.
Yeah, right. He's probably not the sharpest tool in the box still, but
Yeah.
he's not a total idiot.
No,
Clearly,
I
clearly.
don't think he's ever been a total idiot.
No, no,
Uh,
no.
but I think the fight with the strong grasshopper curse proves he's grown. I mean,
Yeah.
the curse that kicked his butt and brought out Sukuna way back when, that one couldn't talk. So supposedly, does that mean that this grasshopper one would be stronger than it because that it has
Ah,
the intelligence to talk?
possibly.
I'm not sure if that exactly correlates. I feel like they mentioned
Hmm.
that the stronger the curse, the more it has intelligence.
So, I mean, yeah, or at least that curses that can talk are really powerful.
Uh, uh,
But yeah, there definitely is some kind of correlation.
yeah, maybe that one from Sukuna's finger was actually more powerful, but either way, he took down this strong curse pretty handily. So
Yeah. Right, and he did it not necessarily because he was smarter, but just because his power level was just that much higher than the grasshopper curse. In the end, was kind of seemed to be the reason for his victory.
yeah,
And then Mei Mei complimented Yuji and said that he's on par with the Grade One sorcerer, which makes sense. She was one of the people who recommended him to become a Grade One sorcerer, so it's not necessarily surprising to see her say that. But we also learned from her in that scene that apparently there hasn't been a sorcerer without a cursed technique who hasn't who's been on that same level apparently, or at least according to her,
mm-hmm.
since one called Kusakabe.
Mm-hmm.
No idea if that's ever going to become relevant or important in the future, but just wanted to bring it up. I thought it was interesting. It seemed like a pretty specific thing to say, so maybe that's important later on. But
I believe we did see Kusakabe in this volume at the very least.
oh, did we?
I believe he's partnered with Panda. I think he's the second year teacher. I think it said.
Oh yes, oh yes, you're right. Yes, Atsuya Kusakabe. I didn't connect
Mm-hmm.
the two that it was the same name. Ah, thank you.
Oh, this is a different Kusakabe, but
I
doubt
suppose it could be,
it.
but no, no, no. I mean, it's probably intended to be the same. Ah, interesting. So that guy, right? We didn't see that guy much, but that's right. So that guy apparently doesn't have a curse technique either. Interesting, interesting. And that, yeah, then I definitely look forward to seeing more of that guy.
Man, more characters. I mean, I don't expect it to stop anytime soon,
Yeah,
but the cast is just keeps on growing.
it really
It's
does.
pretty intense.
Yeah. That's cool. Thank you for catching that because I totally missed it.
No problem.
Anything else on Yuji though?
So he broke that object that put up the curtain,
Yes.
supposedly. Is that something we've seen before, where an object can create a curtain?
Not to my recollection.
I wonder how novel that is, and is that something that it uh, is newly created by the Team Curse? I don't know.
Right.
I mean, Geto mentions earlier in the volume that they adjusted the terms of the commission curtain.
True.
Commissioned that, does that mean like they paid someone to make this object, make this curtain object?
Right. True. Yeah, I did think of him like his wording there as well, and it seemed yeah like they paid someone to get this specific curtain done. So yeah, maybe it is
Hmm,
something specific about this way of putting up a curtain.
maybe.
Hmm.
And that also makes me think back to when the curses attacked Jujutsu High, and
Hmm.
Mahito stole the fingers and everything.
Right.
The Team Curse was all worried about a time limit. I was like, oh, we should have about this amount of time or
Oh
something like
yeah.
that. So it makes you wonder if they were using that same object at that time, and that's why they were concerned about the time limit,
Hmm.
instead of just someone. Because before we had talked about, oh, did someone just, they had only a certain amount of time they can do it before they had to let go, or they had a plan set time, but
Right.
maybe they had used another commissioned curtain in it. These
True.
commissioned curtains have like a time effect or a timer.
Definitely could be. Yeah. I like that theory.
Don't know if it will play a big role in in the grand scheme of things, but
Mm.
I just thought it was interesting because they did mention it, and Yuji found it and broke it. So just
Absolutely.
curious about it.
Mm.
That's all I have on Yuji.
Alrighty, then let's move on to Satoru Gojo next. So yeah, he had a pretty sick fight with Jogo and Hanami,
Mm-hmm.
and finally he got to kill Hanami for real.
So are we saying definitively that Hanami's dead? I mean, I guess we can never really truly do that.
I suppose not,
For me
but
personally, but
I think Hanami's dead now.
okay.
Like for
I
real, for real.
I think I'm okay with that. I did feel it was a bit sudden per se, and maybe there was more. I thought there was more potential for the character,
Mm.
but I guess not. I mean, it's not like there would be much of a backstory to talk about.
Right. Now, I'm quite satisfied. I think we had such a
Uh,
good part with Hanami in the like during the exchange event, or sorry, like the goodwill event,
mm-hmm.
that I feel like Hanami got the shine already, kind of.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Plus, it's good to see Gojo actually kill an enemy for once, because I feel like he's been failing at it. You know, he's supposed to be this unbeatable guy.
Hey, he killed Fushiguro.
True, but that was like many years ago.
Fair enough.
Even though it was recently for us. Uh, but yes, yes. I actually though about this whole fight that they're having like by the train and everything, or in that whole on at the station. I'm just thinking about the anime adaptation, which is airing as this episode comes out. We're recording it before it started to air though, but I'm just thinking about how they'll adapt that whole sequence, because there's like constantly like there's civilians all around, probably moving around, and also being interacted with, like being killed kind of by the curses as the fight is happening. It seems like it's probably going to be a pretty big challenge to adapt this in a good way, with all of those characters kind of constantly being around in the scene.
I don't know which is scarier, the curses or terrible CGI. Ooh,
Ooh,
terrible CGI crowds.
Right? Yeah,
Ooh.
precisely. There is definitely a fear of that.
No, I, who knows what this production team will do. I mean, season 1 was fantastic, so if that carries over, fine. But
Yeah,
to be fair,
yeah.
they didn't have, this huge mass of people to deal with. So who knows
Precisely. Yeah.
what route they'll take. But even if it's CGI, I'm sure it will look decent enough that it doesn't clash with too hardly with the 2D style.
Definitely hope so. Yeah. Anyway, anything else on Gojo?
Nope.
All right. Do you have any other character like outside of like very minor, very minor ones that you want to talk about?
So Geto.
Yes.
We talked about him a bit already, so I won't really touch on that. But something that I thought was interesting is I'm not sure if we've actually seen him attack yet or like fight anybody yet. Have we? Since Zero? Has he done any of that?
Since Zero, and also like the flashbacks we had in the last volume.
Well, yeah, forgoing flashbacks. Like since chronologically speaking, since Zero, we have not seen him attack anybody or use his curses, really, right?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Just seeing him stand by and let just Mahito handle it. I mean, maybe there is a rhyme and reason for it, but it also seemed like why wouldn't he attack as well? They could easily have taken Mikamoto out together. Is he saving something? Like, is he saving himself? Can he attack? Like, is the injury to the head, is that something that's preventing him from? Now, I was thinking all this, and then towards the very end of this volume, I think we see Geto, and he's like talking to some sort of curse, and I wasn't sure if that was one that was one of his curses.
That was the ocean spirit curse, which we've seen briefly.
Oh, that's the ocean
before.
Spirit.
At least I'm quite sure it is.
Oh. When did we see that one before? I totally forgot.
It was in one of the earlier volumes. It's been a long time since it appeared, and it only appeared briefly before.
Oh, was it at like the restaurant?
I don't remember if it was there or if it was some other instance. Either way, we've seen it briefly at some point. I'm sure.
Okay. Well then that kind of supports my theory then that if this is just the water curse, then why is he not? Why? So he still hasn't summoned any of his other curses that he may have. Like he's not using that. Why is that? What's going on? And maybe it could be just that he's saving it for maybe he's gonna fight Gojo or something. I don't know. But I'm curious if there is a rhyme and reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one part of why he's been kind of inactive for like for most of the main series so far, I think is because he wants to remain a secret. Like he doesn't want him being alive to be known to Jujutsu High and to Gojo and everyone. I think
That's
he
fair.
can see maybe some kind of benefit in revealing that at some opportune moment at some point further down the line. Maybe he can take Gojo by surprise through keeping himself a secret.
Right. I think that's good strategy.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think he's completely like forbidding himself from fighting, because he does at the very start of this volume. He asked Mahito if he needed a hand in fighting Kokichi, to which Mahito insisted that he wanted to do it himself.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I think he's still ready to fight. He's just well, in that instance, it just didn't happen.
Gotcha. I'll keep wondering a little bit, but I think that little line does put a big damper on that.
I expect he and will have some kind of encounter during this like Halloween event.
I think so too, without a doubt. Well, I can't say without a doubt. I don't know like who is going to take down Gojo. I mean, it could be Mahito, but I don't know.
Mahito is the one, I believe, who has the prison realm right now. I think
okay.
so. At least he said, something he said made me feel like he was the one who was holding on to it right now. And if he is the one, then yeah, he would be needed. He will need to be present for Gojo's sealing.
I think, doesn't Geto have it?
Sorry, were we not talking about Geto?
Oh, I thought you said Mahito had
oh, sorry. If I said that, I'm sorry. I definitely meant Geto. Excuse me.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. I may have misspoken.
Cool.
Either way, yes.
Or maybe you didn't. Maybe I misheard. Either way.
All good. Yeah, we're on the same page now.
Geto has it, so they have to have some sort of interaction.
Right.
Then.
And that's gonna be really juicy.
Yep.
Hopefully.
I agree.
Next, just going over some very minor ones, some new faces that were just briefly there. For one, we had a Kyoto High School first year who only appeared very briefly in Kokichi's mind when he was thinking about his friends. There was one character who we hadn't seen before, who on like one of the between chapter pages in the physical book, I was like, who is this? Yeah, right. we got to see like that same image again, and there was a little arrow pointing toward that guy, and it said that he was a first year student at the Kyoto Jujutsu High. But that's all that we know.
The cast just keeps on growing. There's so many little hints at characters that we haven't truly fully met yet, and even characters that we haven't seen in a while.
For sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
But okay, I'll look forward to that character, I guess. Did they give a name?
Nope, only says first year, and there's an arrow pointing to him. And he wears like a dress suit. It looks like a butler's outfit, somewhat.
Oh, I see him. Yeah.
But yeah, we don't know anything except that he's a first year.
Okay.
Anyway, then we had Naobito Zenin, another Zenin character.
Yeah.
Barely in this book, but he had a few lines and stuff.
I have no idea, and I didn't check, so forgive me. He's not the person that Maki's actually related to that kicked her out of the Zenin family, right?
I didn't.
Oh, she kind of left on her own chord, but
fair, but she was still kind of driven out in some sense, anyway.
Yeah, they kind of had like the same vibe to me. Like big muscular guy, but it would be shocking if they'd be on the same team.
Exactly, I agree.
I probably should have looked it up, but for now, they're different people.
Right, yeah, let's just say that for now. Then we had Yui, Mei-Mei's brother.
Yeah, I guess it's a bring your sibling to work day.
Right, he didn't even seem to be a sorcerer. So I have no clue what he was doing there. Like, he wasn't listed as any type of grade sorcerer. He was just Yui.
There's got to be a point, right?
There has to be. I feel like it would be so
weird. There's no reason just to have like this cute family bond moment between Mei-Mei and Yui. Like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that is strange. So yeah, I also hope there is something more to this than just that.
Real quick about Mei-Mei, we had a tease about at least what her powers were, something about sharing visions with something.
Right.
It seems like she can share visions, at least with crows that she's imbued with curse energy. She can share the vision with them. I don't know if that extends to other animals
Right.
or whatnot. And I don't know if she has other techniques or abilities or what have you. There was a picture of her holding an axe at one point, which I thought was pretty cool.
Right.
Would like to see that in action.
In real life.
But
yes, me too.
I mean, I find Mei Mei attractive, I guess, but Maki's the only one for me. But
of course.
I interested to see more of her abilities as they go down the subway.
Absolutely.
Briefly, Miwa, she promises she will come see Kokichi. Thought that was very sweet.
Damn, that made the whole thing so sad, even sadder than it already was.
It made it way sadder and depressing. Will it ever happen? I don't know. I mean, at some point they're gonna find out that he's not there, so that could be heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Just about the curses. So, Jogo and Hanami use this domain amplification thing. Did you completely understand that?
You know, I've thought about something. I didn't know if I would mention it in the episode, but I guess I will since you asked me this thing.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. And actually, maybe it's good that I'll bring this up. Let me just vent a little bit. I'm gonna keep it short though. But
sure.
We've praised Akutami's kind of creativity and how a lot of the curse techniques work and everything, and or at least how they are depicted and kind of their functions.
And the uniqueness of them as well.
Right. And I still stand by that. There's a lot of cool ideas in there. However, I feel like some of Akutami's explanations to things get messy. To a point where it's where it kind of loses me, and I kind of lose interest to some extent in trying in trying to understand it. This is one of those examples where I saw that, and the biggest part of me was just kind of, I'm just not going to bother to fully understand this. Like, I get the general gist of it, like, just they're doing a thing kind of against Gojo somehow, and I'm kind of satisfied. I'm content with being on that level, I guess. And like we talked last time, we were just confused throughout the whole episode. It felt like about these whole like humans generating cursed energy and whatnot. And I think I'm just going to accept things for as without necessarily needing to understand all of the intricate details in a lot of these kind of technicalities in the series. At least that's where I'm at. So right now in the story, I feel like I don't have to understand all of the details, I think.
I think I can get on board with that. I do agree with you that his explanations are just not clear enough, or maybe just too brief.
Right.
And I do feel like this manga in general can be quite quickly paced. Fights don't tend to last too long, especially compared to other shonen. So usually, like other manga or whatever, that I think they kind of explain the power up more or less thoroughly, so that the reader can understand. But it does feel like with this one, you get a new side to powers, a new some sort of ability every other page sometimes, and it's tough. It's tough to follow.
Right, and even in the physical books where Akutami sometimes puts like little like between chapter pages with like further explanations on some of these curse techniques and stuff.
That would be lovely.
Even with that though, it's confusing because and it's even Akutami admits to it being confusing on those pages. It's like after like spending like a full page like explaining like, for example, like the reverse curse technique, he's like, in conclusion, it's so confusing with like a bunch of views and exclamation points. So it's like Akutami's even aware of it himself, and I don't know, it doesn't help.
Yeah.
For me as a reader, it doesn't help. And so that's why at this point in the manga I've just accepted that, yeah, I'm just gonna take it for as it is. I don't need to put too much effort into understanding every single thing. Kind of.
That's fair. I may pick and choose what I try to understand, what I try to comprehend.
That's fair.
But like for example, this domain amplification thing, I'm just like whatever. I mean,
right.
It's a counter against Gojo in this case.
Precisely.
Okay.
So, I think that's enough for us to understand about it. Yeah. So actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I think, yeah, I'm glad I got to vent a little bit about that.
I think it was good to get this off our chest, I feel.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, I'm curious too, for anyone listening, do you feel this way as well? Like, are these things also confusing to you guys? Or like, is this supposed to be confusing to the, I guess, quote unquote, average reader? And like, do you have to be like a hardcore, super invested fan that memorizes every single page in order to fully understand all this? I don't know.
I feel a little better about the fact that I didn't quite understand some aspects of the powers. For example, like people explaining their techniques and they get stronger for doing that.
Oh yeah.
I feel a little bit better about myself for not completely understanding that at first. Not to say that it wasn't clear. I think most part people did understand it. But I do feel like, in general, a lot of the power system in this story it is not always the clearest.
For sure.
So I feel a little bit about that. But anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm glad we did talk about that.
Absolutely. Then, is there any other character you want to bring up?
Yes. I got a couple. So Chozo or Choso.
Yes.
He uses blood manipulation. Did we know that before?
I don't think so.
So that's kind of a scary thing.
Yeah, it's similar to Noritoshi's curse technique.
Oh yeah.
Because he also manipulates blood.
Oh yeah, that's actually very interesting because they both have ties to the Zenin.
Oh, you mean Kamo? But yes, you're right. Because the first Noritoshi Kamo, the one that lived a long time ago, like supposedly the real Noritoshi, or the present day Noritoshi Kamo's ancestor, he was the one who, I guess, performed the abortions on these 9 death painting wounds. So there is a clear tie to the Kamo family for these death painting wounds with how they have the blood manipulation curse techniques. Interesting.
I guess Choso's younger brothers, I don't think they had that.
Well, actually, no. Actually, they did though.
Did they? They did. Oh gosh.
But thank you for saying it because I didn't think of it until. But yes, because they had the whole kind of poison blood thing.
Ah.
That they could activate.
Okay.
Man, yeah. They're.
So I guess the Kamo family has a lot to do with blood then, or at least these Kamos apparently.
Precisely.
It's very interesting.
That is interesting.
I don't know what it will mean for the future at all, but I guess it just gives them some relation in some way.
For sure.
Briefly about Mahito, he obviously he has, they're following their plan, but what I want to talk about is that freaking smile he gives when he one-ups Mekamaru.
Yeah.
Kokichi. Yeah, curse that smile.
That is freaky. It's so freaky.
Oh gosh. I mean, great moment by Akutami, but still, it's hate it.
Yes.
Hate that smile.
What if we made it an emoji on our Discord server?
I think it could fit. I could, someone being mischievous or
right
or something.
It's almost like a troll phase, kind of.
Yeah, it is a troll phase. Oh, perfectly. Yes.
Yeah, no, I hate that too.
And then we just got our teams for this arc supposedly set out. Yeah. The Nanami team, Zenin team, Kusakabe team, and the Meimei team.
Indeed.
I have no idea if all of these teams will actually participate in this fight. I kind of hope they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
It does seem that would make their side much more, outnumber them. So I'm not entirely sure. But maybe it'll be necessary at some point, especially if they seal Gojo. Maybe
exactly
they'll go crazy and have to be stopped somehow. or they'll run away. But who knows?
Yeah.
That's all I have for characters.
Alrighty. Then let us dive into some predictions.
Okay.
First of all, I just want to mention I believe we'll see more of the ocean spirit, like the cursed ocean spirit, since as we talked about before, like they brought it back very briefly, though it was. I think the fact that we were reminded of the cursed ocean spirit here means that it'll come into action here soon during this event. I could see this whole Halloween event thing maybe lasting for like the entire next book and into the one after that.
Yeah, I can't see it ending next volume. I mean,
Right.
I'd be shocked, to be honest.
Yeah, because it seems like there's been so much build up to this, so it feels like this will be a
Right.
long-lasting event, kind of a long-lasting climax, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's plenty of time to introduce new foes like that. Which yeah, with that, I feel relatively confident that the Cursed Ocean Spirit will enter the fight properly here.
Hmm.
But we have Mahito has come to fight Gojo now by the end of this book. So that'll be a very interesting encounter because I don't think we've seen those two fight before, have we?
No.
Right.
No.
So yeah, that'll be
Not at all.
very interesting. But I guess we are both feeling pretty confident in the fact that the villains will succeed in sealing Gojo here, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think for the sake of the
Mm,
progression of other characters, I think Gojo needs to be trapped.
right.
And
Hmm.
and to make the villain seem much more of a threat.
Precisely.
Um,
Yeah, I think that's needed probably uh, for the long
yeah.
run.
And if they do seal Gojo, it gives the sorcerers a new objective. Free
True.
Gojo, you know.
Exactly.
Uh,
Right.
so that could be pretty good.
So yeah, well, that's probably like the main thing that we expect will happen by the end of this, being Gojo being sealed by the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other deaths, like outside of obviously Hanami has already happened supposedly?
Uh,
Are there any other deaths that you predict will happen during this October 31st?
so I wrote down Jogo.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
he does seem to be a mouthpiece or a strong consistent for the curses, but I think it'd be appropriate if Gojo does finally kill him, or
Mm.
someone kills him
Right.
in the aftermath. Uh, but then everyone else lives for the curses. I think that's the only, besides Hanami. I think that's the only curse, true loss for them would be Jogo.
Right. I agree. I also think he's the most likely out of the curses to die, like out of the bad guys to die.
Mm-hmm.
However, I had a thought like if it won't be Jogo, then I was thinking kind of it might be interesting if we would see Mahito bite the dust here. Um,
Really?
First of all, Mahito is up against Gojo now, so he's up against
Uh,
someone very very strong. So with that, it's like I
mm-hmm.
guess it's possible. Obviously, not necessarily the case, but I think
Mm-hmm.
it's possible with him facing off with Gojo, uh, and also I feel like up until now there hasn't been like a clear bad guy leader. It's been like Mahito and Geto have been kind of sharing that top spot. It's felt like,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I guess so far it's worked out, but maybe it would be fresh to just get one singular top bad guy, kind of. Um,
Mm.
which I think Geto could carry that well on his own without Mahito. But I don't know. Plus, kind of Mahito has gotten a lot of time to shine lately, or at least with the fight with Kokichi and just in general, kind of throughout, he's had more to do than Geto. So I think him kind of exiting the story by dying would feel better than the other way around at the very least.
I don't think you can kill Mahito yet,
Mm-hmm.
unless it's Yuji who does it. Um,
Oh
and
yeah,
maybe that's too satisfying an end for him. But I do feel that Yuji is very motivated
that's fair.
by Mahito, and they've already established that each other are their rivals in
True.
a way.
Mm.
Um, Arch nemesis, I guess, is a better word.
Right, right.
and so Gojo being the one to kill Mahito, I think that would be a disservice to Yuji's character.
That's fair. I'll take that point. Although Yuji is on his way down, so he could make it down there.
Right. It's not to say that it couldn't happen that Mahito dies. Maybe it's a tag team with Gojo and Yuji.
Yeah.
Or
that would be cool.
That would be cool.
That
or
Gojo
so cool. Gets sealed and then Yuji ends up taking Mahito. But
right.
I also feel like Mahito is being groomed to truly lead the curses. Maybe by Geto, probably by Geto. So I don't quite feel that his, and maybe I'm setting myself up for failure here, but I don't know. I just don't feel his time has come yet. I do feel like
that's
he'd
fair,
be more
for sure
towards the end. I mean, I'm very curious to how an interaction again between him and Sukuna would go down. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That kind of stuff. There's more interactions to be had, and maybe all of those would be had in the Shibuya arc. Who knows? But yeah, to me, I think that death would be untimely. But we shall see.
We shall indeed. I think just like last little thing on that before we move on.
Sure.
I think with such a massive loss for the good guys in losing Gojo, it would make sense for the bad guys to kind of pay the price for such a success, I guess, by losing someone like that. Absolutely not necessarily, but I think it could be interesting. But we shall absolutely see. We shall see. I still think Jogo is more likely than Mahito. But
yeah, fair enough.
But yeah,
fair enough. Fair enough. In terms of sorcerers, I really don't know. I don't want to see anybody die.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody wants to see someone die, but I don't really have like a death flag on anybody. Potentially. Well, here's the thing. Gojo, we're predicting that Gojo is going to be sealed away, so that's basically a huge loss.
Yes.
So maybe anybody else's death would be not warranted. But if anybody would be were to die, maybe Meibei and her little brother or something along that. I know that the little brother was just introduced, and Meibei is really just getting started.
Right.
But she's with Yuji, and she's getting into the action already, so maybe there's something there. But I'm really just stretching here. I don't think we're gonna have any other sorcerer deaths.
Right.
At least that's my the annoying guy that's with Nanami. Ino.
Right.
I think that's potential.
That's
because he's such a scrub of a character.
Yeah, honestly, someone minor like that, I guess I could see that too, because it wouldn't really affect us readers that much, probably.
Yeah.
As sad as it is to say.
Watch, freaking Megami dies or something.
Oh my goodness! No way.
Maki dies. No.
Oh dear.
Worst arc ever. Yeah.
Maybe the other Zenin guy dies, like the Naobito old man.
Oh yeah, I could see that too.
Like,
yeah, because who cares?
Right. Because nobody cares.
Wait, was his name Naobito?
I believe so. Let me double check.
Because if so, then that's
yes.
definitely the guy that kicked. That's definitely the guy that kicked out Maki.
Oh, it was. Okay. All right then. I guess it's settled then.
I think so. Let me. Actually, I shouldn't say definitely. Let me
okay.
double check. We've been through this before. He's the head of the Zenin family. Naobito Zenin. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's the head of the Zenin family.
It did sound a bit familiar. So I guess okay, cool. All right then. Then that was.
So I wasn't crazy.
That was settled then. Cool. All right. Then that's interesting.
It's interesting they're on the same team.
Why they placed them on the
no
same
hard
team.
feelings.
Interesting.
Who knows?
That is strange.
Yeah. Who set these teams up?
We'll probably get some drama there. Hopefully, maybe in the next volume then.
Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of satisfying if he's like, "Dang, Maki, you're pretty good."
Oh yeah, honestly, like a little twist
and
like
that.
And then he dies. Right. But yeah, no, I don't think I have any like necessarily specific good guy deaths predicted here.
I mean, really, the predictions, it's hard to go beyond just, Gojo being transferred and then who's going to die.
Yes, exactly.
I really can't predict what's going to happen here in Shibuya besides that.
Nah.
I really can't.
Nah. So, yeah, it'll be an entertaining ride, I bet.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if I said this on the podcast before, but it was kind of hard to ignore people hyping up season 2 or whatever was coming and saying, "Oh, Shibuya arc, Shibuya arc, Shibuya arc."
Oh.
So, needless to say, I know the Shibuya arc is highly regarded, and
nice.
Something's got to happen, or that's hype, right? So
yes,
my expectations are pretty high.
Oh,
and I think that this was a good start, but
it is only the beginning.
It better get higher from here.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Right, and I haven't even heard about these kinds of praises. So
it's like impossible.
So you saying that definitely has me more excited now as well for this arc. So
sorry if I set your expectations wrongly or spoiled
I suppose we'll see. No, I don't mind it. I'm just excited to read volume 11 now, and that one has Nanami on the cover, so that's nice.
Nice. Good. Yes.
Hopefully that means something for him. That we'll actually see some more spotlight on him again, because it's been a while. Feels like.
Yeah.
So yeah, any final thoughts or words before we go read volume 11?
No.
Very well then.
Let me read.
Yes. Definitely excited for that. So then, if you enjoy our content, you can follow us on Twitter at Umami Manga, and it would be lovely if you'd like to support us by rating our show on the podcast platforms and subscribing to our channel Umami Manga on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time when we'll talk about volume 11. Bye bye.
See you later.
Nice. Now I gotta go do laundry.